Well, it was a hot one. We finally got what we've been waiting on after Camp Kool-Aid last couple of days at Jervy. We got some heat today, and it was just what we needed. You know, we needed a day where at some point, you know, the wall was going to show up, and I want to see kind of how the guys would push through. It was incredibly competitive. I don't know, we probably had 120 plays or so. It was a lot. We got a lot of special teams work. A lot of good on good, mixed it up a little bit as well, and really did everything today except 2 minutes. So we'll hit that again on Monday and then again on Wednesday in our second scrimmage. But you know, biggest thing I'd say is just really competitive. There were some big plays on both sides, kind of a carryover from what I've seen in practice each day, from just again a competition standpoint. I thought defense really started really well, didn't finish as well. Offense had a few plays, and we get a fumble, we get a pick, didn't finish a couple of drives, but then I thought they finished well at the end of practice. But in everything in between, just overall very competitive day. It wasn't a day where one side dominated, and usually that's the case when you come out to these first scrimmages. It's usually, you know, kind of one side kind of wins the day after, you know, we've been together all day, every day for 11 days, you know, so I thought the guys responded pretty good, and you know, nothing I'm really disappointed in other than just had a couple of critical penalties out in space that negated a couple of big plays, had a couple of illegal substitutions. You know, those are things that really cost you big time. We jump offside, we're not lined up properly on a field goal. We make the field goal, so now it's got to come off because we're not all the way up on the line of scrimmage. But, you know, as far as just kind of what I call football penalties, you know, it was actually a pretty clean day. But losing the Clemson penalties, we had a few too many of those that, you know, we need to clean up. I had the ACC officials out here today, so that was really good for all of us, for coaches and players. And I mean, these are critical days when you only get 2 preseason games, if you will. 3 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be heading up to Duke. So it's going to come fast, and we got one more, again, preseason game, and then we'll still have a little competitive work, but you know, a week from Monday, we'll start really turning the page to just our opponent prep.
Coach, with Hunter, his sprained foot out the next 2 or 3 weeks, I guess.
I don't know how long he's out. He'll be back. It's all intact. It's not anything that I think's long term or anything like that.
Do you think CV is at a point where he's ready to be the backup if needed?
No, I think Paul Tyson would be the backup right now. CV is you know, coming, but you know, Paul's a 5th-year guy. He's got a lot of knowledge. You know, 3 years in Alabama, a year at Arizona State. He's been exposed to a lot. He would, you know, just knowledge-wise, you know, kind of be the bridge guy right now. But CV definitely, you know, if we had some type of long-term deal, then yeah. I mean, if something happened to Cade or something like that, then, you know, then that changes everything when it comes to CV. But just as the next guy, you know, what we're trying to do, that's what we brought Paul here for, because we want to try to hold CV if we can. So, you know, it would probably take something to happen to Cade to change that. You know, we feel good about Hunter. We feel good about Paul. You know, Paul, I didn't get to see him, you know, in the spring. And, you know, he's a very knowledgeable guy. You know, he doesn't run quite like he and Hunter are similar. He doesn't run like Cade, he doesn't run like CV. But, you know, he's got a good understanding. He knows when to get rid of the ball. Again, just real good command of what we're doing, you know. So, I mean, he's really glad we got him. And I'll tell you, Trent Pierman, he probably had the best drive of the day today. I thought he really kind of sparked the offense. And you know, he's just a kid that's got some moxie. That's the best thing I can say. You know, he's just got a little moxie. He's got a little just gamesmanship to him, and you just kind of go, well, there's Spearman. He just makes some plays, and he did that all through high school. So he's getting better. So we'll get Hunter back, you know, sooner than later. And I hate Hunter's not healthy because, you know, really wanted to see him and Paul kind of compete. But it's also been good because Hunter got the spring, Paul didn't. So now Paul's been able to get all this work. So that we hopefully can come out of this thing feeling really good about those 3 guys with our plan of trying to hold CV. And again, something happened to Cade, that'd probably change things.
How did Cade perform today?
Did good. He had one bad play, and it was really more, I'd say, a good play by the defense. They had a great call, had a little zone blitz, and he just didn't see the end dropping. Denoff got him one. But, man, Cade did a nice day. You know, he's just very steady, man. He's a high-energy guy, and you always feel like you got a chance when he's out there on the field. Made some beautiful throws, some really, really beautiful throws. Made a couple of nice plays where he extended the play. You know, he's in a really good place mentally, and physically. You know, he certainly had a couple he'd like to have back, but overall, you know, solid first day.
Peter Woods is dominant today as he was in the spring game.
I don't think so. I think it was competitive on both sides. You know, the guy to me today was Xavier Thomas. He was a problem, you know, that's good to see him. Maskell. I saw Maskell. Maskell made a couple of plays, flashed. You know, we held Root today. He'll scrimmage on Wednesday. You know, we got some guys that have played a lot of snaps. We played Putnam, but we limited his reps today. Some of our high career snap guys, you know, we're trying to be smart with those guys, you know, between, you know, this day and Wednesday. So Rook he'll get a lot of work on Wednesday, and Tyler Davis will probably, you know, drink a lot of Gatorade. So we're just kind of mixing and matching a little bit from a vet standpoint. Some of these guys, you know, that I know are ready to go play. You know, we've gotten them enough live work to make sure they're sharp. But we've got a lot of guys. We can only take 80 to do, so we got a lot of guys we've got to really evaluate and make some decisions on.
Special teams,
Robert was awesome. He's been great all week. I mean, he hit one yesterday that was to win the national championship. That was we didn't even have a goalpost, so I said we got to kick it over the camera guy in the tower, and the camera guy in the tower couldn't even touch it. It went over his head, right over the middle of the tower. It was unbelievable. Good from 70. So we're starting to gain some confidence. Don't be surprised if we line up from 70 at some point. I mean, it's amazing. He hit one from 60 today and really kind of sparked it. So he's had a really good camp. He's in a really good spot. Really pleased with just our whole battery and the operation right there. We're starting to really settle in. And then actually Aiden's leg's a little sore last day, so we actually held him today, which is also good. He's had a good camp and really gave Jack some more work, and I'm pleased with Jack. He and Brody, both those guys. You know, Brody's starting to come on, and we got a little competition there, so it's good to see a third guy kind of emerge. And but man, I'm pleased with Jack. I mean, I think he's going to be a really, really good one. So he got a chance to get most of the work today, and kind of Aiden had that day as well.
How about Cole Turner?
Really good, huge play down the sideline. I had 2 or 3. I think he was the leading receiver. Maybe him and Brenny. He had about 4 catches or so. I think Adam had three catches. We spread the ball really all over. We had a bunch of guys touch it, which is going to happen in what we're doing. I mean, a lot of people are going to touch the ball. Biggest thing with Cole is I want him to be a difference maker without the ball. You know, I mean, you got to impact. If you're going to be a great wideout, you got to impact the game when you don't have the ball. And he missed a big block. And on the screen, and got a guy blown up. And then we had Bo had a hold in on a huge play by Maffa. We had Noble had a hold in on a touchdown by Dominique. And so those are losing the Clemson type plays. You know, so things we can clean up. Again, you know, we've got to get our job done without the ball as well. But, you know, first scrimmage, again, it'll be an opportunity for them to study the tape and learn from it.
You know, those freshman receivers stand out in the first game?
Same guys. I mean, you know, Noble, Tink, and Tyler are really in a good spot. Ronan has flashed. He's made some really good competitive plays, but he's probably got the most to learn. You know, and he's at his position. But I feel really, really good about the progress Noble's made. He's had a couple of pretty good days together. I think it's slowing down a little because it's y'all heard me say. I mean, it's Bo, it's Antonio, it's Adam and Cole, and it's Speck. You know, those are 5 guys that we feel like we can go play anybody with, And so it's about really developing some elite depth after that, and hopefully not having to start any of these guys. Which we ended up having to do the last couple of years. We had to start Bo before he was, really ready to start. We had to start Antonio. We've had to do that a little bit with injuries and stuff. So hopefully we can stay healthy and really, bring these guys along at the proper pace and develop some elite depth. But man, Brown had a big play today. Myson is just a natural football. He's a baller. Kid's a baller. He's got no fear. I'm really, really glad we got those two kids. And then Noble is a big bodied dude that has made progress since the spring. But again, we don't have to start those guys right now. And so we just need them to really develop into the depth players that we need, and then hopefully, if we needed them mid-season or later, they'll be ready for more. So not disappointing with anybody. It's a really good group, and then maybe we'll get Stellato out there next week. Who knows? Let me tell you, that kid can play. But I'm tired of talking about him. He can play. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of he's just got to be on the field. Can't play if he ain't on the field. And it's not that he doesn't want to be on the field. It's just it's been a rough couple of years for him. But hopefully he's back sooner than later, and he can compete. If he gets back, he can compete with anybody out there. So that's a positive. But as far as kind of that core group, we're in a really good spot, chemistry-wise, knowledge-wise, and I think heading in the right direction.
Is Spector back practicing? So he's in yellow. Spec.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's in yellow. He got a quad contusion. Got hit right in the thigh. So he's been nursing that this past week.
Speaking of health, how was everything overall?
Pretty good. I mean, I didn't. I know we had 2 or 3 guys go down, but I think most everybody was, okay. We'll see when we get in there. 2 or 3 of the guys that went out came back and continued scrimmaging, got resurrected, so they came back, and I think we had maybe one guy that I got to check on, that had to leave. His looked like might have been a little more involved, but nobody came to me, so that's usually a good sign. But I won't know until I get in there.
On the Cade on Cade play, was it
the what?
The Cade on Cade.
Cade on Cade.
The interception.
Denoff. Was that a fumble, a pick, or
It's a pick.
sack?
It's a pick. They had his own pressure called, and just kind of fooled us a little bit. And Denoff he dropped into a hook zone, and Cade just didn't see it. It's just a good call. The quarterback Cade didn't see it, and it's just a good call, and but a heck of a catch. That was the best part out of it. It wasn't just a PBU. It was a catch. A lot of good things, man. Guys flashing out there. I tell you, Hoffler and Ojebwe, super excited about them 2 dudes. They're flashing. They're flashing. And I'm really excited about that. Hoffler's a big old body kid. Just needs to wrap up a little bit better. Strozier, Avion, Shelton. I mean, we really pleased. Strozier had a nice takeaway on an offside penalty. A free play, throw it up, and he went up high pointing the ball. Man, Jay Lou had the play of the day. Big blow up. I mean, the absolute blow up at the point of attack. And it's good to see him. Really the last couple of days, I think Jay Lou's put a couple of good days together. D. Creighton's a guy that's flashing and showing we're trying to really develop some depth there, kind of forcing the issue. We feel pretty good about 54-0. So, we're going to have them game ready, but we got to really force the issue at that position. And it's good to see some of those guys. Kobe's coming on, so starting to. Woodaz had a great play and a competitive play. He and Brini 1-on-1 today. So there's a lot of good things on both sides of the ball. It's just a very competitive day, which is a good sign for a first scrimmage.
You mentioned Hoffler and Ojebwe. How much did they close the gap with someone like TJ Parker was here in the spring?
TJ's still ahead. TJ's just he's definitely TJ is competing with XT and Mascot, and I'm super pleased with those 2 guys. But TJ's he's right there. I mean, he's going to be a great football player, man. He's got the right mentality, the right toughness, the right heart. He really understands, you know, Ojebwe and Hoffler just building that foundation, but just naturally gifted. I mean, you're not going to ever probably sign a guy stronger than David Ojebwe. This kid is just naturally gifted. He cares. It's important to him. And then Hoffler, he is a big-bodied kid. He might be as good a pass rusher, just pure pass rusher as we have, you know, just technically. He's still got a lot to do in the run game and things, and then Ojebwe, he's as good a run guy as you got, and he's developing on the pass stuff. So just two good young prospects that, man, we hit on, and I think they're going to be able to help us to go. We're building some depth there. You know, feel good about Denhoff, feel good about TJ, feel good about Zaire and the progress he's made, feel really good about Armand, feel good about Jaheim. I think we're developing some good functional depth there to, you know, the totality of the season. Those guys will have a chance to help us, and not just at position players, but special teams. You know, these are a lot of guys, you know, special teams body type guys that are athletic and can run and can really feel a need for us there.
Toriano, he got a lot of experience last year. Have you seen him kind of take that next step?
Yeah, it's just steady. You know, he's just steady. He's very steady about his business. You know, you can count on him.
Talk about forcing the issue at linebacker. Would as are you cross-training him a little bit? Would you feel comfortable with him in an inside position?
Sure. Oh yeah. He's cross-training. He can play Mike and Will. You know, certainly can go play nickel Sam, but he's definitely got to be the guy. You know, somebody's toenail falls off, it's got to be Woodaz, and he's got to be ready. And if it means you know, him bumping the wheel, or if it means you know Barrett moving, whatever, we got to have the ability to do that. And Woodaz gives us that flexibility. We're really fortunate because we've got, I think, 3 elite players, high-level players that can, you know, you're not gonna have a lot of drop-off. Those guys can play, and that's a really good situation for us. As we bring D along, Kobe's made a lot of progress. Feel good about where he's heading. Jamal, so we're bringing those guys along, and then got a couple of walk-on guys, Doolittle and Fletcher Cothran, that are pretty good athletes, big strong kids that can hopefully be those special teams bodies that we need, and kind of the 7th, 8th guy type guy.
Which the new clock rules obviously won't affect the 2-minute drill, but will affect the 4-minute drill. How do you see those changes affecting the game?
I don't know if it'll be that big a deal. I mean, I think it's fine. Especially with, they usually, the tempo offenses and things, a lot of days, they move the chains pretty quick. I mean, it's a couple of seconds here or there, and they usually get it started when those chains are moved. But now you don't have to worry about that. It just keeps going. So it'll be a little bit, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or so, I don't know, on the broadcast. But it's I think it's a good rule, good change. I'm glad they left it the way they did in the 2-minute situation. I think that's a good compromise.
Probably won't impact clock management very much, though.
No, the biggest thing is to change your 4-minute. Changes that a little bit. That's a little different, regardless of whether you're on the offensive side or the defensive side. Maybe how you manage that little part, but the 2-minute will be the same.
I guess now that you have a handful of practices and a scrimmage, what's the timeline for figuring out the offensive line and Tristan, whether he's left tackle?
Yeah, well, that's what we just talked about. And I'm really encouraged by those guys up front. And we limited Putnam today. Tate, same thing. He was out today. He'll be back on Monday. So he'll scrimmage Wednesday. But I think we've got I think we have 8 guys that can start, that I think are in the mix to start. And that's a really good thing. I'm really excited about that. And then I think we've got a 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th guy that I got no problem playing. I probably wouldn't put them all in there at one time, but I would have no problem playing any of those 4 guys in any course, at any point in the game. And it's been a while, so I'm really excited about what we got up front. Thomas has done an amazing job. I mean, I think we've recruited well, and I think these guys have developed. And and again, just got Putnam. It's going to be heading out of here, so it's a really good group. We're trying to cross-train a few guys, mix and match some guys, feel good about our center position. We'll see. But we'll see this tape, and then we'll put it all together again on Wednesday. We got a situational day. We'll be back out here Monday. It'll be all situational, all thud. We'll have a couple, maybe 8 live plays on the day, and that's it. So it's all on your feet type day, but another good situational day to evaluate, and then put it all together again on Wednesday. And then we'll take Friday, and then we'll have another practice Thursday, and then we'll take Friday and Saturday, kind of regroup. Sunday, get back together, meetings, and then kind of get our plan ready to go. We'll work Sunday night on Charleston Southern, and Monday on Charleston Southern. We'll put 2 days in the bank on those guys because obviously we have a really short week, and it takes a lot to get a team ready to play. You don't just roll the ball out there, so we got to put a couple days in just to base stuff, and then Tuesday have maybe a little bit of live, and then we'll be all Duke from that point when they start school that Wednesday. So I'd like to have it sooner than later, but we still got a lot of evaluating. But the good news is I think I don't see a situation where whoever these 8 guys are, I don't see a situation where they all don't go play. So it might be a game or two before we really can say, hey, this is our best combination, especially when you only got 2 scrimmages.
You talked a lot about the D+ hire article from ESPN back when you first got hired. Now that you're in your year 15, you're right on the verge of the all-time wins record.
I'm almost a C-.
Let's talk about how that's fueled you.
Moving up.
That's still in your office. How has that kind of fueled you since you saw that?
Yeah, it's in my office. That's in my office, but also, right beside that is the reminder is, it's as a man thinketh, so am I. It's not as other people say it, so am I, if you will. I think, and that's a foundational principle for everybody. To live your life from the inside out. We limit ourselves in life by how we think and by living our life from the outside in. And I know who I am, and just thankful to still be here, going on year 15, my 15th full year, it's just a good reminder to me to live my life from the inside out, and to make sure that you never let outside expectations, outside noise become greater than your inside purpose and your inside beliefs. And stay focused on what you control and what matters. So it's a good reminder to me every single day, where I came from.